With Zenless Zone Zero patch 2.3 finally here, we finally got something really big on PC. That being the implementation of ray tracing. Now, of course, they went about it in a very weird way. It is a very hard thing to go ahead and enable, but when you do go through the steps to enable it, if you have a card that is ray tracing capable, it is actually very, very noticeable when it is on. So in this video, I'm going to be first off collaborating with one of my friends to show off the performance between our two systems, a desktop system with an RTX 4070 desktop chip, and his system being a laptop with a laptop 4070 to see the general differences between how those two systems perform, with frame rate metrics up somewhere on screen for both. And I will be showing off some footage from the PS5 to show how the ray tracing is different and how the PS5 performs overall in comparison to how it is on PC. Okay, so in order to actually enable the ray tracing, you have to jump through a few hoops to enable DirectX 12 rendering for Zenless Zone Zero. And in order to do that, you're going to want to open Hoyo Play Launcher, go to the triple lines icon here, open the game settings, go to Open Directory, left click your Zenless Zone Zero executable. It should be located near the bottom. Make a copy. Your copy should be named this when you're done. You have to name it yourself, which in order to do that, you're gonna left click it, right click it, show more options, rename it to exactly what you see on my screen, copy it to your desktop, and then when you're done with that, you're gonna want to not do that, not open it, get out of here, fuck off. You're gonna wanna open it in properties, and then at the very end, you're going to want to add to the string space dash use dash D3D12. And then once you're done with that, you should be able to just open the game via that, and it should open in DirectX 12. I will demonstrate, obviously. I will open it, and then I will have my MSI Afterburner pop in if I can. Yep, there you go. It will open in DirectX 12. Okay, first off, why don't you introduce yourself?
Well, I'm Alex. I'm the one who ran the laptop testing for this.
He's been very helpful in also just determining differences and such, so we're gonna go ahead and get into the comparisons now. Okay, starting off with the global illumination test. This is with RTX on, by the way, and this is with it off. The difference is huge. Like, yeah, definitely noticeable.
Even just like the coloring.
And then here's the ray tracing on the water at Port Elpis. This is ray tracing off, though. I started with off instead of on, unlike the last clips. And then that's on. The difference again is huge. The water quality in general has changed.
Yeah. The whole water texture and as well.
Yeah, it definitely looks way higher quality. And then once again, we're starting with off at the Ballet Twins Road for the water, and the difference here is honestly really massive. You can definitely tell that's a cube map. And then they just like completely... this lifts the bar, honestly.
It's so different.
It is a very gorgeous implementation of ray tracing. Here are some comparisons. This is ray tracing off versus on for every one of these. For the reflections, because on PC without ray tracing on, if you have your reflections at max, it uses planar reflections, which will typically reflect the entire scene. It'll just render it twice, except in some cases, like Windows, as you saw, it will default to cube maps.
Yeah, like you can notice it just obviously by the character just appearing when you turn it on.
Yeah, this luminous square one having like 5 million reflections was pretty huge. And then there's obviously this one at Ballet Twins Road that is absolutely stunning. And these are sometimes PlayStation versus PC tests with PC first, I believe. Oh yeah, it's definitely PC first.
Yeah, definitely PC. Because the PlayStation reflections are just lower resolution in general.
Yeah, just wait until we get into that in the actual video test, which is coming up soon. So here's the video test for performance purposes going through Lumina Square at both nighttime and then one step below nighttime, like evening sunset. This is done on both of our systems, by the way. We tried to match it up as best as possible, but it's kind of hard to do that kind of thing when there's no built-in benchmark and no kind of replay mode to go off of, but it's roughly the same. His resolution's a little bit different, his screen's a little taller than mine was. And he did accidentally do a little oopsie. He recorded in, I believe, 1080p, but everything was rendered in 1440p. We rendered in the exact same settings, which I will put on screen at some point.
Yeah, my bad. It's just, I don't really have OBS set up for higher quality stuff because I was just doing it for streaming with dorm Wi-Fi, so...
But, I mean, so far, though, the performance seems to be pretty good, especially in the open world. It's definitely better than PS5, as you'll see shortly. That'll be coming up soon. And then there's the comparison coming up of the ray tracing on versus off with how the reflections work up in this glass. Like, the reflections are definitely way higher quality with the ray tracing on, if they're there to begin with. And now here are the PS5 versus PC for the Lumina Square evening slash sunset. This shows a good amount of global illumination and is also where the system would be taxed the heaviest in terms of overall things going on.
Yeah, and then this is with the laptop. System. Yeah, it stutters a little bit, but I think that might just be because I don't have my CPU stuff really tuned, because Lumina Square is really CPU heavy. And the bus is ray traced.
Yeah, that's another big thing. Some cars aren't ray traced, some are, but for the most part, they are on PC, and a lot of them tend not to be on PS5. And then here's the Hall mirror thing again, because it's just so fascinating that that's even there. And I do like that the reflections of people are Slenderman. And now getting into combat. This is just PC versus PS5 for now. And it's mainly like that because we both don't have the same people. We wanted to have somewhat similar alpha particles and stuff going on at the same time.
Yeah. I have like none of the agents that he used.
Yeah, and also in combat, the game tends to be a lot smoother. Even the PS5 is running decently smooth. You can tell that it's not locking 60, but PS5 also, or PC is also not always locking 60. You'll see that it has a dip here or there.
Yeah, but I know, just looking at the floor of this arena, you can tell there's a big difference.
Yeah, not that you get a bunch of chances to do that in action, but I will put some screenshots on screen of it.
Yeah, just the resolution and just the overall quality in general. It's just a lot clearer on the PC.
This is true, but this is also something I'd expect. I wish I had a PS5 Pro to see how it was on PS5 Pro, but I don't think too much is different. I think maybe they have added a couple of the water reflections, but here's where you can really tell the difference between the resolutions of the ray tracing. And keep in mind, even at ray tracing low on PC, this resolution does not get this bad. I don't even think it changes. The PS5 version is crazy. Yeah. And with all that done, with all of that done, that's about it for the video. We're gonna wrap it up. Do you have any closing thoughts?
Overall, I'm just kind of like impressed with how much better the PC ray tracing is, especially with it being technically unfinished. Because they haven't officially released it, you can just force it to work.
The whole way to go in there and enable it is kind of like how you would enable it in Stray, where you have to go and change the executable file's properties to run in DirectX 12. but it's certainly more finished than the Stray's implementation was, because in Stray, I played the first moments of Stray with the ray tracing on, and the thunder is like a flashbang from Zeus.
Oh,
so
God.
it's clear that they at least tried to use some of what they did to get ray tracing running on Xbox, I'd assume, because I believe Xbox One's in DirectX 12 to get the ray tracing working on PC, which means there's nothing funky going on. It just happens to also be a higher quality ray tracing than you would see on the consoles. I think that's about it. If you like the video, like it. If you dislike it, dislike it. Or do none of those. I'm not your dad. Leave a comment if you want. Again, I'm not your dad.
I am
do you
your
have anything
dad,
left
though.
to say?
Listen to me. Do what you want to do. I am your dad.
Okay.
Hello, son.
All right, man. Same goal, different people. All right, that's about it. I am out.